Hello everyone, hope you are doing great. In this video, I will be talking about alternative courses that you can opt for in order to become a clinical psychologist. No, you don't have to repeat 2 years and make clinical psychology course after your master's in psychology just because you have to become a clinical psychologist. There are
What?
other courses as well in the field that you can opt for, which many students are sometimes are not aware of, or sometimes they think that there is only a one way. And with the UGC making a lot of changes recently, I know that most of you are lost, most of you have a lot of doubts, and most of you are uncertain about how to go ahead, but you truly feel passionate for becoming a clinical psychologist, then this video is exactly for you. So without further delay, let's get started with the video. And if you're new to my channel, please make sure to subscribe to my channel, because this is like one of the channels on YouTube that talks extensively about psychology, latest updates in psychology, who is getting affected, who is not getting affected. So everything I try to cover up. So make sure, if you are from psychology background, make sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any update. And even if you want to have a one-on-one mentoring session with me, you have doubts, you can always do that. I'll be leaving my email address here, somewhere over here, and also my Instagram handle. So without further delay, let's get started with the video. Also, if you're not aware about how to become a clinical psychologist and have doubts regarding the new latest regulations that RCI have brought up, then you can always refer to my video on how to become a clinical psychologist in India in 2026, because the rules and regulations have changed now. So the thing I've noticed while I've posted this video is that in comments, a lot of students have mentioned that is there any alternative, or they lack an uncertainty and they lack that understanding that what are the other courses as well. So that is why I'm making this video to kind of tell you what else is there. So now, with regard to the changes in the RCI guidelines and the new update from 2026, you won't follow a route path that you are following now to become a clinical psychologist. So now what you are following is that we have to do MA. After your masters, you have to do MPHIL, and then you become a registered clinical psychologist. So now in 2026, that will be changed. In order, MPhil won't continue in 2026, and from then, in order to become a clinical psychologist after your masters, you need to enroll in MA clinical psychology, which is again a 2-year program. So that is the kind of route that the students are advised to follow. However, there are 3 courses that you can still do and become a RCI registered therapist in India. So the first course is your professional diploma in clinical psychology. Now this is a 1-year program which you can opt for right after your masters, and this will help you become a RCI registered therapist. Now the thing is, you can diagnose, you can provide therapy, but however you won't be able to teach clinical psychology in university. That is the only drawback of this course, and this is a 1-year program, which I feel is much more nicer, is more equipped, given the duration also, that it's good for a lot of students who want to enroll after their masters. So this one I personally feel is a good option. Now second course, which is very much active and which can also, along with becoming an RCI registered clinical psychologist, it will also help you become a doctorate in psychology, which is the PsyD in clinical psychology. It's like a doctorate program which with a lot of practicality of clinical psychologist assessment and all. So this, if you are also aiming for doing PhD or something, this is a wonderful course that you can opt for in order to also opt a doctorate as well as clinical psychology. So PsyD is your second course that you can opt for. Now this is a 4-year course, and you can do this right after your masters. And again, the eligibility is that you need to have your masters in psychology and you have the field in psychology, and then you are a doctorate in the psychology, also are an RCI registered therapist. So, and even one of my professors has done this, and I thought that was really good if students are considering for PhD instead of spending like 4 years 5 years on PhD. This is great. If you are passionate about clinical psychology as well as you have to do PhD, PsyD is your go-to. So that's the second course that you have. The third course that I will be telling you is a little controversial, which is nothing but BSc in Clinical Psychology, which is a 4-year bachelor program. Now the thing with it and why it is very controversial is because it won't give you RCI registered therapist. It won't qualify you for that. So you cannot register yourself as RCI therapist after just doing bachelor's anyways. That's like, understandable that you have just done your bachelor's in clinical psychology. So you cannot register yourself, but you can become a clinical associate, which means that, you can work under clinical psychologist. You will be called a clinical associate. And it is like kind of like a lower version of clinical psychologist, something who works under clinical psychologist. So that, and they cannot give therapies, they cannot diagnose as such, but they can obviously do the psychoeducation part, they can obviously do the psychometric testing, they can obviously do, work under a lot of aspects under clinical psychology. They can do counseling and everything. So a good option if you are just having your bachelor's in this particular area and want to, don't have to waste your time in masters because of some reasons or something, or diploma or PsyD. Then if you are okay with working under clinical psychologist, then that is your course that you can opt for. So those are all the alternate courses instead of MA clinical psychology that you can opt for. And if you have any more doubts regarding the, MA clinical psychology or anything related to this field, or anything related to your practice as a counseling psychologist, or you are your student, you're stuck somewhere, you can always reach out to me for a one-on-one mentoring session. I can leave you email address and my Instagram handle somewhere over here. I think I've already mentioned that in the previous in the start of the video, but if you have missed, you can always reach out again. If you're aware that I'm a counseling psychologist, so I do take in counseling sessions as well. So if you'd like to book either a one-on-one mentoring session or a counseling session, you can always reach out to me over email or my Instagram handle. Hope the video was helpful, and see you around in my new video. Bye bye.